In December 2025, Mark Zuckerberg closed a deal, not a partnership, not an investment, an acquisition, over $2 billion for a startup called Manus. The paperwork was signed, the money changed hands, the team started packing. By April 2026, that deal was dead.
About China blocking Meta's $2 billion acquisition of this AI firm called Manus. It's an AI startup.
China's state planner walked in and said, "Cancel it." The founders were called to Beijing. They were told they could not leave. A completed transaction unwound. That almost never happens. The question is not whether this deal is dead. The question is, why would China reject $2 billion? To understand that, you have to understand what Manus actually is, and why one acquisition terrified an entire country. Here is what you need to know up front. This is not a story about a failed business deal. It is not about lawyers or contracts or broken negotiations. This is a story about two superpowers, one technology, and a line that just got drawn in the sand. The US is trying to slow China's AI progress through export controls on chips. China is responding, not with tariffs, not with trade restrictions, by controlling who gets their talent, their algorithms, and their intellectual property. The message is simple: you cannot buy our future. Let's start with what Meta was trying to buy. Manus is not a chatbot. It was never meant to be. Where ChatGPT generates text and Claude answers questions, Manus executes tasks. You give it a goal and it works until that goal is complete, even after you close your laptop. The architecture is simple but powerful. Each Manus session spins up a virtual computer, a sandboxed environment with its own browser, its own terminal, its own file system. The AI can search the web, write code, scrape data, generate reports, and build entire websites, all without a human touching the keyboard. The demo that broke the internet showed Manus booking flights, filling out spreadsheets, and writing Python scripts. The wait list hit 6 figures in 48 hours. But here is the detail that matters for this story. Manus was built by Chinese engineers, former Alibaba, former ByteDance. The company started in China. Then, months before the Meta deal, they moved their headquarters to Singapore. On paper, this made sense. Singapore is neutral ground, it attracts Western capital, it avoids US-China tensions, a clean, legal, strategic relocation. China saw it differently. They called it something else: Singapore washing. To understand why Meta paid $2 billion, you have to understand where Meta was standing in late 2025. The AI race had split into tiers. At the top, OpenAI, Google DeepMind, and Anthropic. These three had pulled ahead, way ahead. They were building recursive self-improvement loops, AI systems that help design better AI systems. Below them, Meta and xAI, still investing billions, still hiring top talent, still falling behind. In January 2026, Meta announced capital expenditures of up to $135 billion for the year, almost double what they spent the year before. Zuckerberg was betting everything on catching up, but money alone wasn't enough. In March 2026, Meta was forced to delay the release of their latest AI model, codenamed Avocado. Internal tests showed it underperformed against Google's Gemini 3.0. The gap was real, and it was growing. That is where Manus came in. Meta didn't need another large language model. They needed an agent, something that could act, not just answer, something that could close the gap while their internal research caught up. There is an irony here that should not be lost. Meta was trying to buy a Chinese company to catch up to American competitors. And that Chinese company, Manus, ran on top of Western large language models. It was not building its own model. It was building an agent framework that sat on top of existing Western AI. In other words, Chinese engineering, American infrastructure, Singapore headquarters, Meta money. A truly global product. But in 2026, global is a word that is starting to mean less. In March 2026, the founders of Manus were summoned to Beijing. They were used to Singapore. They were preparing to move to California to join Meta. Instead, they sat across a table from regulators at the National Development and Reform Commission. They were told they were not allowed to leave China. The deal was already completed. Money had changed hands. The team had started integrating. but China's state planner issued an order: terminate the transaction, unwind the acquisition, cancel everything. The official reasoning from Beijing was national security, but that phrase does a lot of work. Specifically, China argued that Manus was never truly Singaporean. The technology was developed in China. The engineers were trained in China. The intellectual property was built on Chinese infrastructure. Moving the headquarters did not change the fundamental reality of where the capabilities came from. This is what China means when they talk about Singapore washing. Relocating legal structures does not erase origin, and in the eyes of Beijing, origin determines control. But there is a deeper layer here. China is not just protecting technology, they are protecting talent. The founders were barred from leaving the country, not because they broke any law, but because their knowledge was considered a strategic asset. Think about what that means. In the AI economy, talent is the new oil, and China just made it clear: you cannot export our engineers. This is a direct response to US export controls on chips. Washington tried to cut China off from advanced semiconductors. Beijing is responding by cutting off access to their best AI researchers. The scope of this crackdown extends far beyond Manus. Bloomberg reported that Chinese regulators have instructed multiple private technology firms, including AI startups Moonshot AI and Step Fund, and even TikTok owner ByteDance, to reject US investment without explicit government approval. The message is clear: no American money, no American deals, no American access unless Beijing says yes. This is AI nationalism, and it is not a trend, it is a structural shift.
Let's pause and consider the counterfactual. What if China had said yes? Meta would have absorbed one of the most advanced AI agent platforms in the world. They would have gained not just technology, but a team of engineers who knew how to build autonomous systems that can book flights, write code, and generate reports without human supervision. In the short term, this would have helped Meta close the gap with OpenAI and Google. In the long term, it would have given them a head start on the next phase of AI, agentic systems that act autonomously, not just answer questions. For China, the risks of acceptance were significant. If Manus had become part of Meta, China would have lost control over a critical AI asset. The technology would be in American hands, the talent would be in California, the intellectual property would be subject to US law and potentially US intelligence. China's decision to block the deal was a defensive move, but it was also a signal to every Chinese AI founder, to every venture capitalist, to every foreign acquirer. The era of selling Chinese AI to the West is over. The Manus case is not an isolated incident, it is a template. From now on, cross-border AI acquisitions involving China will face unprecedented scrutiny, not just from Washington, from Beijing as well. Both sides are building walls. The US has already restricted investment in Chinese AI, semiconductor, and quantum firms. The White House is now considering treating model distillation, a technique where smaller AI models learn from larger ones, as a form of intellectual property theft. China is responding with its own controls. No foreign acquisition of strategic AI assets, no US investment without approval, no movement of top researchers without permission. The Stanford AI Index Report 2026 contains a number that should worry everyone. In May 2023, the top US AI model led China's best by more than 300 points on ARENA scores, a benchmark for relative model performance. By March 2026, that gap had shrunk to just 39 points. The US still leads, but the gap is closing, fast. In some areas, China is already ahead. More AI publications, more patents, more industrial deployment, particularly in robotics for manufacturing and logistics. The question is no longer who is winning. The question is, what happens when two superpowers can no longer cooperate on the most important technology of the century?
The $2 billion deal China destroyed was never really about the money. It was about control. Who owns the technology? Who controls the talent? Who sets the rules? For decades, the assumption was that technology would bring the world closer together. Data would flow across borders. Researchers would collaborate across continents. A startup in Beijing could sell to a company in California, and everyone would benefit. That assumption is dead. The Meta-Manus deal is a warning. AI is no longer just technology, It is national security. It is economic advantage. It is strategic leverage. And when technology becomes geopolitics, the rules change. China said no to $2 billion. That is not a business decision. That is a declaration. We are entering a new phase of the AI race. Not just who builds the best model, but who controls the ecosystem, the chips, the talent, the data, the intellectual property. And unlike the last phase, this one has no room for everyone. What do you think? Was China right to block the deal? Or does this mark the beginning of a dangerous fragmentation of global AI? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more documentaries on the geopolitics of technology. This is Reason Behind. Thanks for watching.